Evening, I will call to order the meeting of the Hampton Township Council for Wednesday, December 11, 2024, and we'll start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Blackburn?
Present.
Ms. Fritsch?
Present.
Mr. Midgley?
Present.
Mr. Scholle?
Present.
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mr. Speakman?
Present.
All right. First item on the agenda is the approval of the regular meeting minutes held, the minutes from the regular meeting held Wednesday, November 20th, 2024, and the agenda. It's going to be one of those nights. And the minutes from the public hearing and the agenda meeting held Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. Could I get a motion to approve those minutes, please?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Scholle?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, next item is citizens' agenda matters. If anyone has anything that they would like to address to council, please step up to the podium and the microphone, state your name and address and your concern. All right, we are going to slightly rearrange the schedule to move something up to the front. Chief, start with item A from public safety, please.
Trying to get in the right order this time. Okay. So tonight I have Brian Williams here with us. We currently have 2 part-time positions open within the police department. Brian Williams had applied for the full-time position, went through all the necessary testing, and is currently active on the full-time hiring officers list. He has agreed to accept a position as a part-time officer with the Township of Hampton. And in anticipation, he would fill one of the full-time officers' positions next year when they retire. So I would ask the council approve the hiring of Brian Williams as a part-time police officer with an effective start date of January 13th. And this will be a conditional offer of employer pending his certification through MOPEC for his certification number, along with passing a psychological and physical as required by the state and the township. So that conditional offer, he does everything he's supposed to do, makes it through. I'd like to start him January 13th. And all those gentlemen behind us there would like to have him on the department.
Does anyone have any questions about this item? All right, then can I get a motion to offer Brian Williams a conditional offer of employment as a part-time police officer pursuant to him passing all required certifications with a starting date of January 13th, 2025, per the chief's memo dated November 20th, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Scholle?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. Congratulations. Ready to go on?
Ready to move on?
All right, we will move back to the regular agenda with item 3, which is the donation presentation to the Mrs. Claus Club.
So, as council's aware, this is the third year that we've done the No Shave November, and the officers we are able to waive the policy for the clean shaven face other than a mustache, and they can grow their beards as long as they keep them nice and groomed, as you can see that they do. And they can violate the policy, and in exchange for that, they donate a certain amount of money per month for as long as they want to, keep their beards. And then they decide as to who they want to donate to. And for the past 3 years, they have selected the Mrs. Claus Club. We have the president and vice president with us tonight. And so what we would like to do is present them with a check for $2,310 donated to them for all that they do. And what I would like to do is I would like to recognize that not only that the officers participate in this, but we have members of council, members from management, and members from the administrative team who have all donated money into the No Shave. And it's just a matter of the spirit of the season and the kindness of the heart that this takes place, regardless of whether we grow hair on our faces or not. So I'd like to present this to you guys, and please feel free to.
Yeah, bring them up.
Yeah, bring up all the officers.
Yeah, come on up, guys.
Casey, you're in the front.
We just want to say thank you so very, very much. It's especially hard without Officer Rob. He was our speaker last year at the fundraiser, and he was here last year, so it's hard. We can't thank you enough for your support. We had our fundraiser just in November, early November. We've already received 50 requests. We're in our 15th year. It's just an opportunity to bless each recipient that we make a comfort basket for, just to make, add comfort, encouragement, and to be able to pray for that recipient. So being here and being selected is such an honor. We cannot thank you enough. We thank you for your support. And I love living in Hampton Township. My granddaughter and I were at the Santa event last Thursday, so whoever who mentioned the No Shave, I was there in the cold. It was a beautiful event. Hampton Township's amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for everything that your organization does.
We'll keep the fake check because that bounced.
All right, before moving on with our regular agenda, we do have one more item to add, and that would be our social workers, please.
Hi, I'm Angela, and this is Maria. We just wanted to take a minute to recognize the Hampton Police Department Social Services Toy Drive that we've been putting on. This is the second year that Social Services put together a toy drive specifically for the children and families on our caseload. The toy drive has two different avenues where gifts were donated this year. So initially we put up an anonymous sign-up link where Hampton staff members were able to sign up and sponsor a family or a kid in need. This year we reached about 25 families specifically on that sponsorship sign up. In addition to the sponsorship, we put a Hampton Social Services giving tree up at the Hampton Community Center that had 92 ornaments for 92 different children within Hampton Township. And every single ornament was taken off of that tree by November. There was not one left. So we were, by using that, we put the child's age and gender and some of the items that they had on their wish list on there, so it was kept anonymous as well, and Hampton community members were able to participate. We get a lot of phone calls and emails and requests on how they can help social services, so this was a way that they were able to participate, knowing that it stayed within the community. And we want to make note that this is separate from Presence from Police, so it really shows you how much the township steps up as a community to help kids and families that are in need. To conclude the recognition of the toy drive, I just wanted to put a huge thank you out there to not only the community members, the local businesses that have stepped up and donated, but also to the staff members of Hampton who have spent the second year in a row really helping, whether it's donating the toys, wrapping the gifts. That's a picture of all the gifts that were collected through the social services, not even all of them actually, in the giving tree, but all the help wrapping. Today we spent about 8 hours wrapping gifts for all the families, and I couldn't do it without everybody volunteering and stepping up their time, so I really appreciate that.
And I just want to chime in as well from a new hires perspective. So my first interaction with the social services toy drive was just last year, and to see the expansion has been an incredible experience. As social workers with personal knowledge of some of the barriers these children have faced throughout their childhood, it's such a rewarding experience to be able to contribute to such deserving members of our community. It's also equally an impressive experience to see individuals of the community spend their own time and their own money to give these kids a great Christmas. So thank you for all of your support in making this department truly successful.
And I also want to put a thank you to the officers for dealing with us taking up the entire police department full of presents and helping us lug them back and forth and do everything in between. So they've helped us a lot too. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for everything that all of you do for the township. All right, that was the fun stuff. Now moving on to business as usual. Let's start with administration item A, please.
Yes, I'm recommending enactment of an ordinance establishing our 2025 real estate tax millage rates. These rates will remain unchanged from 2024. The total millage for the township is 2.9241. Means on a home assessed at $100,000, you're paying $292.41 annually in real estate tax. It's broken down into general operating, capital, and fire. So those rates, I think the most important thing, those rates remain unchanged from 2024. I think that's what you all want to really hear. So, yes.
Any questions? Ordinance number, please.
870.
All right, can I get a motion to enact Ordinance 870, establishing the real estate millage rates for 2025 at a total millage rate of 2.9241 with 1.9790 for general operating purposes, 0.7415 for capital improvement purposes, and 0.2036 for fire purposes?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Sholey?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch? Favor. Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
Julie's looking at me as to what's going through my mind. I can see it over there.
Absolutely, that
I'm
is what
trying
I'm
to-
thinking.
Trying to
I
calculate,
can't believe you nailed it.
maybe like 10 years,
What?
no increase?
Has it been?
It's not just since last year, okay? It's just, we are very blessed in this township. We are financially sound, and we've managed to hold the budget and not increase the taxes for a very, very long time,
Great.
unlike what you're reading in the paper.
Yes. Yes. All right. Item B, please.
Yes, recommending enactment of an ordinance for the 2025 general and other budgets for those funds. The general fund stands at about $16.5 million in expenses. The other notable fund out of this, the Stormwater Management Fund. Next year's a big year for that fund. We're looking at about $2 million total in expense with about a $1.1 million capital improvement program. We're going to undertake some very large stormwater management projects. I want to thank Mr. Speakman, all the staff here for helping put this budget together. It was definitely a time-consuming labor of love, and yeah, you know. Well, for you, Jerry, it was. But no, it was a very smooth process, and everyone deserves a lot of credit. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions related to item B? 871?
Correct.
All right, can I get a motion to enact ordinance 871 adopting the 2025 general and other funds budget?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor?
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. Next item, please.
Yes, finally, I'm recommending enactment of the 2025 capital improvement budget ordinance. The capital improvement budget for 2025 is it's about a $3 million total capital improvement plan. The largest single expense being our road paving program, which will be $1.3 million. The breakdown in the ordinance shows all the projects, but then the breakdown by the expense category as well. So,
Anyone have any questions related to this item? All right, 872?
Correct.
Can I get a motion to enact ordinance 872 adopting the 2025 capital improvements fund budget?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. Next item, please.
yes, we received, as council's aware, we on an annual basis seek a tax and revenue anticipation note of $1.5 million to cover which is a very large debt service payment in January. We received 5 proposals from 5 different financial institutions. Yesterday at 1 o'clock, the lowest interest rate we received was from First National Bank, our depository, at 3.99%. Mr. Romasini, it's his recommendation and my recommendation that we award the 2025 Tran loan to FNB.
Did anyone have any questions? All right, then can I get a motion to accept the proposal from FNB regarding the 2025 tax and revenue anticipation note at a rate of 3.99% per the manager's memo dated December 10th?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Abstain, please.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, next item, please.
On an annual basis, we adopt a resolution setting the employee contribution rate for all full-time police employees into the police pension plan. In 2024, that rate was 4.5% of their W-2 wages. The 2025 rate, as per our collective bargaining agreement with that union, that rate rises to 5%. Recommending adoption of the resolution before you tonight, amending the pension plan contribution to rise to 5%, effective January 1st, 2025.
Does anyone have any questions about this item? Can I get a resolution number, please?
1108.
All right, can I get a motion to adopt resolution 1108, amending the police pension plan, increasing the participant contribution to 5% effective January 1st, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
In favor. All right, next item, please.
Yes, also on an annual basis, we adopt a resolution establishing the rates for the following year for all of our legal and professional services, mainly engineering firms. Mr. Midgley, at the last meeting, you had asked about the difference. PVE was really the only one where you saw a sort of substantive increase. It was about a 13% increase from 2024 to 2025 for the position that we utilize most often. The question you had asked regarding the direct comparison with Gateway Engineers is another civil engineering firm. Their most applicable position was $163 an hour is what it would be paid next year. The same position at PVE will be $170. It's a difference of about 4.3%. I still recommend adoption of this resolution. I mean, I don't think that difference is all that substantial. I think PVE has done some very specialized work for us with stormwater management, and I do trust their judgment. All of the other firms, their expenses increases were sort of in line with what we've seen in the neighborhood of 3 to 3.9%. So with that said, I'd recommend adoption of resolution establishing the 2025 rates for legal counsel and engineering.
All right, does anyone have any questions or concerns about this item? Resolution 1109.
Correct.
All right, can I get a motion to adopt Resolution 1109, establishing the 2025 rates for engineering, consulting, and legal counsel services per the memos that were included in the packet?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. Next item, please.
Yes, just today, we received the certification for volunteer firefighters eligible for local tax credits from our fire department, and we also have residents who participate in West Deers Fire Department as well. I have the list. I did not distribute it because there's people's social security numbers on there, but Mr. Emasini and I do have the list. And with that said, I'd recommend recommend certification of the list for volunteer firefighters eligible to claim local tax credits.
And you've both reviewed it and have no concerns?
No. It's the same list. I was going to say, it seems it's the exact same names as last year, I believe. Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about this item?
No, I was just comment that I think in the past when we've gotten that list, someone has removed the social security numbers, so we haven't been able
Okay.
to see
Yeah.
the names, and I guess that would be my preference going forward.
Okay. I can send it to you
But as long
tomorrow.
as
I'll
you've-
redact the
you
names.
approve the list,
Yeah.
I think I can comfortably,
Hmm? That's
vote
fine.
on that, yeah.
All right, anyone else? All right, then can I get a motion to certify the list of volunteer firefighters eligible under Act 172 to claim local tax credits per the manager and finance director's recommendation?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor?
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, next item, please.
Yes, this is the agreement that we talked about at the last meeting between, it's essentially a three-way agreement between the Township, Hampton Rotary, and Hampton Community Association. The HCA is basically going defunct. They want to transfer their funds to as per IRS rules, to a similar community-based nonprofit. The funds total in the neighborhood of $72,300. They were raised mainly through the golf outing that we put on every year with the township. That money goes to the HCA. The money would be transferred to the Hampton Rotary Foundation, with the stipulation being that the money would be used as per what HCA was, their mission, essentially projects in our park, and that all of these funds would be expended by the end of 2025. There's obviously no penalty to anyone for not expending them by the end of 2025, but purely for Rotary's sake and IRS reporting purposes, we'd like to get these all expended by the end of 2025. So we would spend them on projects that we have planned in the Hampton Community Park.
All right, does anyone have any questions about the agreement? All right, then can I get a motion to approve the agreement with the Hampton Rotary and the Hampton Community Association for transfer of the HCA funds?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor?
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
Yes, I'm recommending advertising for the 2025 organization meeting of Township Council on Monday, January 6, 2025, at 7 o'clock p.m. 7 o'clock p.m., that is, for everyone in attendance.
I
Yes.
am going to need another reminder, and you saying 7 o'clock PM today
Yes.
is not enough.
There will be a calendar invite sent to everyone. It will come from Mr. Omasini.
Police escort.
All right, any questions about this item, aside from can we move it to a different time, which we cannot? All right, can I get a motion to authorize the manager to advertise the 2025 Township Council Organization meeting for Monday, January 6, 2025 at 7 PM?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
And finally, seeking adoption of a resolution authorizing submission to the statewide local share account program for a grant we submitted on behalf of the Hampton Township Volunteer Fire Department to purchase an aerial fire truck. As we discussed at the last meeting, the aerial fire truck is old. It'll reach the end of its useful life in the next 3 to 4 years. They are looking to purchase another truck through the CoStars program in the amount of $1.6 million. The grant we submitted was for $800,000 for the statewide LSA program. Their current funding gap is looking to be in the neighborhood of $600,000 for the fire truck, so anything they can get out of this grant program will close that gap. So that's the resolution. The grant itself was submitted already. This resolution is sort of reaffirming the submission of this grant, but the resolution's a requirement of it too.
All right, any questions about this resolution?
Ryan, I think.
questions.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I think you mentioned last week, but when do we expect to hear back about the grant?
Probably realistically, I would say August or September of next year.
That's right, thanks.
Yeah.
And I assume the fire department knows that the outcome can be heavily influenced by their representatives? And they've informed them of their request and asked for their advocacy?
There may be a meeting scheduled in early January with a certain state representative to discuss that matter with them. Yes.
All right, good.
Yes.
All right, any other questions or concerns? Resolution 1110.
Correct.
Can I get a motion to adopt Resolution 1110, authorizing the submission of an LSA grant on behalf of the Hampton Township Volunteer Fire Department for the purchase of an aerial truck?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, next item is the North Hills Council of Government report. However, the executive board does not meet in the month of December, so I will defer to the manager if he has anything he would like to bring up.
Yes, there is a public hearing for the Verizon Cable Franchise Agreement. It can be attended virtually. It's at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Anyone who's interested in attending it virtually, let me know. We have the web link. So that's all I got.
All right, Water Authority monthly report. Anything to add, or are there any questions? All right, Engineers monthly report. Anything to add or any questions?
Nothing to add.
Legal Counsel monthly report.
I have nothing to add.
Are there any questions? Controllers monthly report.
Basically, nothing has substantially changed since our last budget meetings. As a high-level recap, we are going to be over revenue probably about $250,000. We're going to be under in expenses around $450,000. All of those items that constitute those amounts have been discussed with you in all of our other meetings. So it looks like we will have no problem meeting our $500,000 transfer into capital improvement, which we will definitely need to be able to meet the capital budget, capital improvement. And the last highlight is just to say refunds, real estate refunds. In aggregate, the tax goes into all three entities, the operating fund, capital fund, and fire improvement fund. So when there's a refund, there's money comes back from all of those that received. And it was $55,000 in the operating fund over budget, and it was $25,000 over budget coming out of the capital because we don't budget it into capital. So total of $80,000 impact on this real estate issue. Hopefully it gets resolved.
So Jerry,
CLR.
the refunds were over budget, right? That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, due to appeals.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
All right, anything else? Any other questions? All right, Information Technology Monthly Report. Anything to add?
Anything to add, no.
All right, and I have nothing to add to the library report unless there are questions. All right, and Public Safety.
I have nothing to add to my report.
Any questions? All right, and I see Eric is not here this evening, so is anyone handling the EMS report?
No.
All right. So I guess if we have any questions, they will have to wait until next
Yeah.
month.
He could not get it, given the short time frame.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
Yeah,
He probably, yeah. that's
yeah,
true.
yeah. Next month, you will essentially get 2 months' worth of reports.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Chief, anything else for public safety? All right, community services then.
Yeah, I'll take this one. As everyone's aware, we bid out the installation of guide rail along South Pioneer Road. This was part of a $175,000 automated red light enhancement grant that the township received back in 2023. We received one bid from Green Acres Contracting to install the guide rail in the amount of $106,023. That bid was reviewed by Trans Associates. It is consistent with what they're seeing in terms of price per linear foot to install guide rail. So both they and I are recommending award of this bid to Green Acres Contracting in an amount not to exceed $106,023 for the South Pioneer Guide Rail project. We would have, hypothetically, under this scenario, we would have $30,000 if we can get PennDOT's approval to spend on additional guide rail installation. We're seeking PennDOT's concurrence that we could spend that and put it in areas. I know Ms. Burnett and her team have been looking at several places where guide rail is needed, or where we have existing guide rail that is a little too old. So, is that okay?
For that, we would just extend the scope of supply for this.
It would be a change order to this contract based on the linear foot price.
We won't have to go out for bid.
No,
Okay.
no.
All right, any other, excuse me, any other questions regarding this item? All right, then can I get a motion to award the contract regarding the South Pioneer Road guide rails as part of the Arrow grant to the Green Acres Contracting, the amount of $106,023 for the Trans Associates memo dated December 10th.
So moved.
Second,
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn,
favor?
Ms. Fritsch,
Favor.
Mr. Midgley,
Favor.
Mr. Shirley,
Favor.
Dr. Johnson.
Favor. All right, next item, please.
Good evening. Regarding the 2025 road resurfacing program, unless you have any questions from my November 26th memo, I'm requesting authorization to advertise for bids for that program.
All right. Did anyone have any questions regarding the plans for the 2025 road resurfacing program? All right, then can I get a motion to advertise for bids regarding the 2025 road resurfacing program per the Assistant Township Manager's recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch,
Favor.
Mr. Midgley,
Favor.
Mr. Shirley,
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn,
Favor?
Dr. Johnson.
Favor. All right, next item, please.
Next item, in accordance with my November 26th memo regarding the CAT 305 mini excavator and jackhammer, unless you have any questions, I'm requesting council approve a capital improvement expenditure not to exceed $65,786 for this piece of equipment.
Any, excuse me, does anyone have any questions regarding this item? All right, then can I get a motion to authorize the Assistant Township Manager to pursue the purchase of the 2024 mini excavator through the Capital Improvement Fund budget in the amount of $65,786 per the memo dated November 26th?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Midgley,
Favor.
Mr. Shirley,
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn,
Favor?
Ms. Fritsch,
Favor.
Dr. Johnson.
Favor. All right, next item, please.
Next item is, in accordance with my November 26th memo, if nobody has any objections, I'm requesting approval of a capital improvement budget expenditure not to exceed $150,000 for the purchase of a 2025 Ford F600 dump truck, snowplow and hopper and spreader.
And just to remind me, we placed the order now. We're thinking we're going to get it, was it next October or the following October?
Next October, November.
It'll be here for next one.
Yes.
All right. Anyone have any questions about this item? All right, then can I get a motion to authorize the Assistant Township Manager to pursue the purchase of the 2025 Ford F-60 dump truck through the Capital Improvement Fund budget in an amount not to exceed $150,000 per the memo dated November 26th?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
Thank you.
All right, anything to add to the monthly reports?
Unless anybody has any questions, I have nothing to add other than we did use salt last week.
And I imagine we will use some tonight as well.
Probably, yes.
I don't have any questions, but I just want to say thank you again, and please convey thank yous to everyone who participated in our Santa Spectacular event last Thursday, particularly
Definitely will.
since it was so bitterly
That's
cold.
what I hear.
Oh, that's right. You were someplace warm, weren't
I didn't want to
you?
brag, but I was probably in like 65-degree weather, but I was feeling for everybody.
No, you weren't.
Weren't feeling cold for everybody.
No, at a cheeky part. That's okay.
It was very interesting because the fireworks went up and then just kind of drifted for a little ways because of the wind.
Wow.
It was cold. All right, environmental services, please.
Thank you, Madam President. The manager and I are recommending approval of the water pollution control plan change orders. Those change orders numbers are 13 and 14. Change order number 13 is the amount of $14,080.59. And change order number 14 is a accumulation of 4 different items with a grand total of $48,732.80.
All right, we talked about these last week, but does anybody have any additional questions?
It is our understanding, just so you know, once we're through these change orders, the only 2 large ones we know that are out there are the fill for the areas that we discussed where there's been groundwater coming through, and then asphalt paving is the other one.
All right, then can I get a motion to approve the following construction change orders per the manager and environmental director's request? The installation of sound attenuation to the exhaust fan located on the roof of the new Headworks building in the amount of $14,080.59 per the KLH memo dated November 26th. And the 4 items, including the office garage upper workshop monorail door, the dewatering building centrifuge hydraulic pump system, an office garage interior fixed window for the SCADA system, and the digester building floor flood door for the primary clarifier building for a total amount $48,732.80 per the KLH memo dated November 26th.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, anything to add to the monthly report?
Thank you. I have nothing unless there are questions. When do you expect to have the event?
I do not know that answer. I know that they are moving forward with this as quickly as possible to get that not only constructed but installed. So, Ryan, have you've never?
I have not. I've talked to Rob about every other thing, it would seem, outside of that.
They
you know,
are
I
moving
knew-
forward with it,
Yeah,
that I can tell you.
just curious. Yeah, the timeline.
I did talk with Chris Lochner today,
Yeah.
and he also did not have an update on when it would
Yeah.
happen.
No.
All right, and,
I'll follow up and include some.
okay. And speaking of Chris, because this meeting is 2 weeks ahead of when it normally is, he does not have the sewer plant construction report this evening, so he asked to be excused and to not come out in the cold. I thought that was a fairly reasonable request.
Can't blame.
All right, zoning and planning, please.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. First item is the Fry Kane Pioneer Place application. We've discussed this pretty thoroughly at this point. At the last meeting, everything was already pretty much buttoned up except for the advisory board final recommendations. Planning Commission is recommending approval. EAC did not get a chance to they weren't able to get a quorum together. They had 2 people sick, and so they didn't have a recommendation. So based on all of that, we have all the engineering items resolved. Planning Commission is recommending approval. I drafted a proposed list of the conditions of approval that incorporates everything we've discussed regarding throughout this whole thing, review process. So that was reviewed by Ms. Cromer's office, and they are signing off on the decision that we have for you tonight. So I am recommending approval at this point, subject to the conditions in my memo from today.
All right. Does anyone have any final questions about this item? All right, then can I get a motion to adopt the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and a decision approving with conditions as outlined in the memo from the Land Use Administrator dated December 11th, 2024, the application for final approval of the Frey Kane, aka Pioneer Place, planned residential development application 24-04.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
Okay, the next item is the Minio lot consolidation. As per our discussion at the last meeting, this is in order for approval. So I forwarded a list of conditions of approval today. I am recommending approval subject to those.
I did not see the list of conditions for this. Is there anything other than what's normally in the conditions of approval?
If you go to the Fry Kane one, it's bookmarked. They're all bookmarked on that one.
I went all the way through the Frey Kane one and I didn't remember seeing theirs.
I think the Fry Kane one was 63 pages, and then this
Yes.
would have been the 64th, and then the Indian Springs was the last one.
All right.
And for what it's worth, no, there was nothing unusual. Essentially, I can run through them very briefly for you.
Please.
So essentially, they will have 90 days, which is all standard, to record the revised meets and bounds and the new final recorded plan. That has to address any outstanding engineering comments, of which there were none. They will have to reimburse the township for any engineering, solicitor, or professional consulting fees, and then within 30 days, they can appeal if they so choose. So that's as basic as it really gets for something like this.
All right. Did anyone have any questions? All right. Then can I get a motion to approve the Minio lot consolidation application 24-07, subject to the conditions as outlined in the Land Use Administrator's memo dated December 11th, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
Okay, the Indian Spring Lane simple subdivision was approved earlier this year. As we previously discussed, they did not get this recorded within 90 days. So the county asks that the governing body reapprove it in those cases. So I'm just asking you to reapprove the exact same plan, exact same conditions.
All right. Any questions? All right, then can I get a motion to reapprove the Indian Spring Lane Simple Subdivision Application 24-03 per the Land Use Administrator's memo dated 12/5/2024?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
And last, but certainly not least, if you could appoint 2 members to the steering committee for the zoning ordinance updates, that would be that'd be great.
All right. Julie and Alfie, I assume that you are both still interested.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, then can I have a motion to appoint Julie Fritsch and Alfred Midgley to the steering committee for the update of the zoning ordinance in Saldo?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
Thank you very much. I look forward to working with you both on that project. So.
Yes. Thank you both for volunteering to be on that committee.
And I do not have anything to add to my report unless there are questions.
Does not seem so. All right. Old business.
I have nothing, other than the upcoming Santa tour.
All right. New business. Anything else?
Equally.
Equally nothing. All right. Does anyone else have anything that they would like to add for new business at this time? All right. In that case, I will adjourn this evening's meeting. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Have a happy holiday and a new year. Have a wonderful new year, and stay warm.
I see Mios is going into the airport, huh?
Yeah, they just did.